everybody, welcome back. We are doing some acrylic pouring. I am making a mess. The last experiment didn't go so well, so we're going to try a swipe this time. This one I'm going to do a brown swipe, and the colors underneath are going to be kind of naturey. If this turns out well, and if I'm able to do the finish coat well, then this is hopefully a one that I can give Dad as one of my early pieces. So I don't know if it will work out, but we will see. I hope the frame is in frame. And here we go. I'm also going to experiment by doing something else as well. So you guys will see that. All of these paints are Artist Loft. Let's see, let's go. Like that. It's controlled a lot better than I did before. This is not quite what I wanted. I wanted peach, and I've got orange because I put way too much red in, but I didn't want to put any more paint in because this is already too much as it is. And that is JoJo upstairs crying. I'm going to try to keep this as thin as possible. Kind of an orangish color. Okay. Cerulean blue, which is kind of a sky blue. That orangish color that I made might be too close to brown, but we will see. Let's do the sap green. Okay, and then I will do my sides with this orange that I've got way too much of. Let me get a clean knife. Let's try this one. Oops, better not take it up from there. It's got too many of the other colors. This is supposed to help pull the paint down over the edges and stuff. So we will see how that works for me. Okay. Now, the experimental thing that I'm going to try is, realized I needed my swipe cloth. The experimental thing I'm going to try is putting, spritzing it with detergent water first, and then putting the swipe color down and swiping, because I want to see what that does. So we've done that. I need my swipe color. Okay. And now, where am I swiping? I'm going to roll this up a little. Ah, I got it, some of the previous paint. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, so let's see what happens. Oh, I'm not getting enough paint down in spots though. It didn't quite work the way it was supposed to. Is there any way to fix that? Let's fix it by putting yellow over top and into those spots and see what happens. I think it might be too heavy for paint right there. Alright, so that looks a little funky. But let's try this again. I'll try not to let the mat lie as heavily on top and see if that makes a difference. I did it again. It's just pulling all the paint off. And my yellow is chunky. Now it just looks like a mess. Well, that experiment didn't work. Let's scrape it off. Maybe I can do something else real quick. Wow, the canvas took in the paint real fast, didn't it? I'm going to leave the sides. Let me wash my gloves off, and then we'll think of something else. So let's do a dirty cup, since I need to use up this orange paint anyhow. And I'm just going to leave it all down there, and I'm just going to, rather than trying to layer it, I will do it as a, trying to squirt it in. But before I do that, I am going to put detergent soap into the orange. That's probably way too much. All right. So did that. Let's do, I'm just getting paint everywhere. Let's do blue. Let's do violet. Let's do yellow. Even though I'm not happy with my yellow right now. I probably shouldn't have done that, but that's all right. And let's do aqua green. Those are some interesting colors, aren't they? Let's do some white. All right. I'm going to do the flip this way since the canvas is already wet and dirty, and go from there. So that's what it looks like inside the cup. Deep breath. Let's see if we can save this. My hair is bothering me. It's coming out a little bit already, isn't it? To get everything shown on the redo, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, but I wanted to show you the problems with not having a level drying surface. I thought I had the rack leveled, but This is the pretty chrysanthemum bloom I did, and it was actually sitting in this spot with this corner over in this corner before I turned it around, but just that little bit of tilt, the painting just kind of went this way. So it's ruined, unfortunately, but that's the trial and errors and why you do it on the small canvases before you do anything big. Here's the Galaxy pour. It seems to be okay. I don't know why the black goes kind of grayish, although it is kind of reddish in person too. It just looks worse on the camera. But it seems to have done okay as it's slowly drying, and it's still drying. So you can see it's still glossy. So I think that one will still turn out okay. On the same shelf, I have picked it up this morning and loosened the thumbtacks off the newspaper, which I'll have to do again. But I wanted to get a closer look at the painting. I think it's going to be a bit topographical. I don't know if you guys can see the lumps. And I don't know if that's the yellow, because it turned out to be lumpy, or something else. There's the black and white. It looks like it has shifted a bit. I don't know if you guys can see that edge where it's a little thicker. So it did slide a little bit. It didn't ruin like the chrysanthemum though. I have not turned the direction on it, so it actually slumped towards the middle of the shelf just like the chrysanthemum did. So I wonder if the shelf itself is kind of crooked. Here is the American flag. It's not going to come through. It's still wet and glossy, and you can see some of the blue, but it's not going to come all the way through. So that's a little disappointing. That idea didn't work, but now I know. And also, if it'll focus in there, I don't know if it will. Some of the canvas is still coming through. So I didn't get good. I should have put a white coat down and then did everything, but lessons learned. Here is, let me get on this side. Here is the redo. I did this as a dirty flip cup. Sorry, moved my fingers around and ended up touching the power button. So sorry about that. Here is the redo. And I think it actually looks a lot better than the swipe. It was a dirty flip cup, and I think you guys saw all the colors before the camera died. Just to get a close-in look, we've got some cells that popped up there. It's still drying. It's still a bit glossy. All those little dots are from bubbles popping. That's the same for these dots here, but it actually is causing lacing. You can see a little bit of lacing there. Sorry, switching hands. So we've got some lacing and a little bit of cells there. I love this lacing right here, and that was the lacing I was trying to keep. And it doesn't look like it got ruined at all. It doesn't look like it had any trouble drying. So that's pretty cool. And then we're back to where we started. This is the middle. I'm not crazy about the middle. The edges are more entertaining, but we'll see. I'm also worried about, I don't know if you guys can see it well enough. It's got lumps too, like right in here is lumpy, and then this spot right here, whoops, looks like I'm touching, but I'm not. It's awfully lumpy, and so we'll have to see how that dries and kind of go from there. But there's an update since my battery died, so sorry about that. we will see you guys soon.